We will have 4 public hearings tonight. One is coming from the Housing and Land Use Committee. And then we will have 3 public hearings regarding liquor licenses coming out of the Economic Development Committee. Following the public hearings, we will have community announcements, followed by the roll call for board members. We will have a report from the Bylaws Committee, and there will be a vote tonight on amendments to the bylaws. That will be followed by other committee updates and resolutions, followed by action on the public. We should have 4 votes on the public hearings, followed by the chairperson's report, acceptance of the minutes, and then adjournment. For those who have attended community board meetings for a number of years, you may remember a gentleman who would usually march up to the front of the room, and he would wear a gold spray painted construction helmet and gold construction boots. He would faithfully attend our meeting for decades. In fact, I spoke to a former chair from the 1980s, the Honorable James P. Sullivan, who is now a retired justice from the Supreme Court. And he remembered debates about how to handle this gentleman, who usually had something to say about whatever the issue of the day. I knew the man affectionately as Dr. Geronimo Williamson. He was, in his words, an engineer, a scientist, an inventor, and a clergyman. What I know for sure was that he was environmentally conscious, decades before his time. During my 13 years in the board, he would usually sternly lecture developers and property owners about the dangers of sewer gas. In fact, but Dr. Williamson loved his community. He would make it out to our public meetings up until about 18 months ago, even though he was struggling mightily with his illness. He was a true community activist, and believe it or not, I think at one point he even ran for mayor. It was a custom of this board to allow Dr. Williamson to be the last speaker and have the last word under the portion of the agenda for a community announcement. And so, to honor his many years of community engagement, let us have a moment of silence for Dr. Geronimo C. Williamson. Thank you. If there are any board members here, if they could please sit up in the front table. I think, is that Steve in that? If the board members, if you could please sit at the front table. So I'd like to briefly report on some of the activities I've been involved with since the last meeting on behalf of the community. I attend the borough board meetings, which is a meeting held at Brooklyn Borough Hall that consists of the city council members and the community board chairs. So on the agenda for the last meeting, which was June 12th, they had 2 items, both were informational. One was from the New York State Attorney General, and the second was from an organization called New York City Mesh, MESH. The Attorney General's office gave a presentation from Michael Barbosa, RPOS scams. They're also available on MESH that offers cost internet services. Their mission is to reach the 30% of. On June 5th, I attended the Parks, Art, and Culture Committee State of the Parks Community Forum. The keynote speaker was the Brooklyn Borough Parks Commissioner, Marty Marr. I commend the chair of the committee, Marion Little, and the vice chair, TJ Wilson, as well as all the committee members in getting out vital information about the capital projects and opportunities surrounding the parks in our community. I would also like to congratulate the leadership of the Education and Youth Services Committee. The chair is Omar Holloway, vice chair is Monique Antoine, I got it right this time, right, Monique? As well as all the members of the committee for the outstanding awards program that they put on, called Bed-Stuy's Best 2019, which honored excellence in education in our community. The event was held on June 6th at the Brooklyn Bank, which is an event space located at 896 DeKalb Avenue. I would also like to recognize Stacy Ruffin, our executive secretary, who graduated from an in-depth police program in May that was held in the auditorium of the NYPD headquarters at One Police Plaza. Finally, we have 7 new members who are newly appointed to Community Board 3. So if you could please stand as I call your name. Lillian Bowman, Vanessa Clark, Victor Iro, Keisha Jerrigan, Lisa Lewis, Wendy Robinson, and Alicia Walton. Let's give them a round of applause and wish them many years of productive community service on this board. So that concludes my remarks. We're going to move on to acknowledgement of elected officials and community partners. So if you could please be ready and try to keep your remarks to 2 minutes. And can we bring a, I guess they'll use this mic, so if you could please go to representing Borough President Eric Adams, Candace Julian, from Council Member Elika Ampey Samuel's office, Kim Robinson, from Assemblyman Walton's office, Lucian Allen, and from Berean Community and Family, Dwayne Frankson. So if you could please be ready in that order. It's Candace Julian.
Good evening, everyone. All right, first I want to thank the Community Board for hosting us in this beautiful tent. It's breezy. I love it. Thank you all. I also want to welcome the new board members. They're going to make you work on this board, so I hope you guys are ready. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to pick up the Borough President's Message of the Month. It has all the upcoming summer events. This Thursday at Borough Hall, it's Caribbean American Heritage. And if you guys have been before, you know it's an all-day festivity, starting with the marketplace at noon, a symposium, a taste of Caribbean cuisine, and of course the concert on the plaza. We also have dates for the Wicked concert. I don't have a lineup, but we have dates. All can be found in the Message of the Month and our summer movie Under the Stars program at Prospect Park. We're going to show 3 movies. It's going to be great. There's entertainment, giveaways. It'll be a great night.
Everyone, my name is Kim Robinson, and I represent Councilmember Luca and Chris Sanders. On behalf of the Councilmember, she wants to wish everyone a happy and safe summer. See you in September.
Good evening. Again, I'm Lucian Allen, Community Liaison for Assembly Walter Mosley. A few things I want to share with you. First, the Assemblyman is hosting this summer reading challenge. So between July and August, we ask that if there are any children that you have or that you know of that are avid readers, we ask that you give them some information for the summer reading challenge, the brochures in the back. So basically, if the children complete reading between July and August, they fill out the form, the calendar rather, and then bring it to our office, and then they get a certificate on basically just being a good reader for the summer. Second is Walk with Walter Wednesdays. So there are 5 dates throughout summer and fall to basically meet with the Assemblyman and walk and talk with him and share any issues that you might like to with him personally, directly. So it's going to be on July 31st, August 21st, September 25th, October 23rd, and November 20th. And also flyers in the back. Thank you. Lastly, some of the summer subways and office hours. So again, these are opportunities that you'll be able to meet with the Assemblyman directly. Thank you. Lastly, some of the summer subways and office hours. So again, these are opportunities that you'll be able to meet with the Assemblyman directly. So this applies for all 3 of these on the back table. If you directly.
Good evening, my name is Dwayne Franklin. I'm here to invite you to a program of leadership development that we're sponsoring at the Berry Community and Family Life Center. It's at 2018 Rochester Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. The program is going to take place August 14th and 15th, 2019. It's a 2-day program that gives a certificate. It's called the Leadership Challenge. It's a free program. All you need to do is indicate that you're being sponsored by the BC FLC or Cause Effective. How many of you here would agree that we have a crisis in terms of leadership in our communities and our nation? Raise your hands. Okay, another quick poll. How many of you would say that leadership is something that you're born with? It's in your DNA. Raise your hand. And how many of you would say that leadership is actually something that you could be trained to do? Okay. Well, the good news is that everyone is right. Every great leader that's ever walked the earth has been born. So just like everyone in the room has been born, all of you have the ability to become great leaders if you train and you study and you develop. Unfortunately, a lot of folks think that once you have a role, that's it. The leadership is a muscle. You need to continue to develop it, continue to seek information, continue to grow. So we encourage you to come out to this program. It's tremendous that you guys are coming together to address community's issues. Please continue in that vein and come out. We'd love to see you. I'll leave the information in the back again. My name is Dwayne Franklin, Marine Community and Family Life Center in Brooklyn. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Best, did you want to speak on behalf of the precinct council?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. The 79th Precinct Council will be having its last meeting this Wednesday, June 26th, at Brooklyn Job Corps, 585 DeKalb Avenue, 7 p.m. sharp. Again, this is our last meeting, and we have 2 events coming up: National Night Out, right here in Bed-Stuy on August 6th. So come out. We also have Harmony Day on July 18th, and the 79th and the 77th is hosting that. So we'll fill out the details to everybody, but we normally have it at the Von King Park. But before 77 is in line, we have to find out the destination of getting there, okay? Take care.
Thank you, Dr. Best. We're gonna move on with our agenda, so the next item will be the district manager's report given by Mr. Henry Butler.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I just want to let the booklets that you see on the tables. This came from our Housing and Land Use Town Hall meeting that we held back in May. It has all the information pertaining to the different sort of housing development applications that come before the community board. Please take one. This is for the public. If you're sitting in chairs and not at a table, go grab one at one of the tables to get a booklet. Please take these booklets. This has very important information about the different housing applications that come before Community Board 3. And if you go to our Facebook page, you will also see the PowerPoint presentation and the actual full meeting. You go to the Community Board 3 Facebook page. If all the booklets are gone or taken, just let me know and we will provide you with one. Which also pertaining to housing, I want to mention the Bedford Housing Initiative meeting that's taking place this Wednesday. For those who don't know, there are 3 properties that are going to be developed by HPD, and they're putting an RFP out at the end of this year. Those properties are located at, first one is right by the Utica Avenue train station. I call it the skateboard park. That is city-owned property. They're going to be building housing there. The other property is located on Murray between Marcy and Nostrand. The third location actually has several lots. One of them is located by Ralph and Fulton next to the Multi-Service Center. The other location is right across the street from Pleasant Grove Baptist Church. That's on the corner of Fulton and Howard. The third location is the big lot that's 26,500 square feet. That lot is located on the corner of Fulton and Saratoga. This is your opportunity as residents of CB3 to have an input on the development of the RFP. When the city puts out RFP, they don't come before the community board. They just put the RFP out, they pick a developer, and then we see the developer after they are picked by HPD. This is the first time that they are actually coming to us to help develop the RFP. So if you want to see supportive housing, senior housing, you can have a conversation on what sort of commercial entities you want to see on the ground level, because those lots are zoned for housing and then commercial space on the ground level. This is your opportunity. That's this Wednesday. The meeting is taking place, and the flyers are in the back. The meeting is taking place at PS 28 Warren Prep Academy Cafeteria, 1001 Herkimer Street. That's between Ralph and. Please take the flyer, take it to your friends and neighbors, and give this out so that we can have a big turnout at this meeting on this Wednesday. The district manager's monthly report is on the green line looking paper. If you don't have it, it'll be right in the back. Just a couple of things I'm going to read from at the monthly Borough Service Cabinet meeting. There was a presentation by the Department of Health on their 2018 Community Health Profile for CB3. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The numbers are not good for Community Board 3 when it comes to health and us taking care of ourselves. Just a couple of highlights. Well, their motto is your zip code should not determine your health outcomes. But that seems to be the case when it comes to New York City, particularly CB3. If you turn to the back, it's front and back. Bedford Stuyvesant levels of the most harmful air pollutant. Fine particulate matter are 8.1 micrograms per cubic meter. The Brooklyn average is 7.8. The New York City average 7.5. Ours is 8.1. The lowest levels were in Rockaway and Broad Channel. Another one that stood out to me in Bed-Stuy, the rate of expected mothers receiving late or no prenatal care is lower than the citywide rate. 1 in 11 births to Bedford-Stuyvesant residents is preterm, 3 or more weeks before due date, higher than the citywide rate. Preterm birth is a key driver of infant death. So that booklet, you can go to New York City Department of Health site. That is this booklet. We didn't get enough of these booklets to give out to the public. We are requesting more to be brought to the office. But if you want to see these numbers, you can go to the Department of Health website and just put in for Community Board 3 2018 Health Profile. Also at the Borough Service Cabinet, there was a presentation by the New York City Office of Nightlife. Brooklyn is the fastest growing borough for nightlife employment. One of the things they recommended is every restaurant bar to have digital noise meters at all venues. So this is a fairly new agency created by the city. It's not an enforcement agency. They're basically, to me, I feel they're a mediation agency. They are not about closing businesses if they're not good tenants. They're about trying to mediate the situation. So for example, if there's an establishment where they are, the noise coming out of the establishment is way over the allowable decibel level according to DEP. One of the steps I do is call DEP, we call the police. If they continuously basically break the law, we look to not renew their liquor license. That is something that the Office of Nightlife is not trying to see happen, so they want to mediate the situation before we get to that point. They will be making a presentation in September, October at our board meeting, September or October. Okay, I'm going to end it right there because we are moving along quick. I want to keep this meeting moving because we're almost on schedule right now. But if you have any questions, one last thing, I'm sorry. Also, last thing, the Macon Block Association, Ralph and Patchen, they are having their annual jazz concert, free, I emphasize free jazz concert. That's Tuesday, July 9th, Macon Street. My president is happening to be Henry Butler. So I'm inviting all of you to attend our free jazz night, a smooth, cool night in Bedford for that evening. So July 9th, those flyers are up there also. So if you can make it, come on out and enjoy a smooth, cool evening of jazz, July 9th on Macon between Patchen and Ralph. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Butler, for that shameless plug for your block party. But it's good, though. Okay, we're going to move on. We have two informational presentations tonight. The first is coming from the Transportation, Sanitation, and Environment Committee. Is Mr. Glasgow here? Okay, so it's going to be introduced by the Vice Chair, Ms. Felicia Alexander.
Good evening. Tonight we are going to be given an informational presentation by the New York City Department of Transportation on their electric vehicle charging program. The presentation will be given by Leroy Branch, our community liaison.
Good evening, everyone. I am Leroy Branch from the New York City Department of Transportation, and I am your community coordinator, but I am not giving a presentation this evening on EV vehicles. I have with me Felicia Tunner and Susan McSherry from that division, and they will give you all you need to know about electric vehicles. And we have some individuals here from Klein, if I'm not mistaken, and you can introduce them.
Thanks so much, Leroy. And thank you all for having us. Just trying to figure out the best place to stand. Okay. So yes, my name is Felicia Tunna. I'm with DOT. And Susan McSherry and Jen Robertson with the Mayor's Office of Sustainability. Susan's with DOT. And we also have Con Ed here. And we'll try to run through this pretty quickly and then leave some time for questions.
Okay. Thanks, and you'll advance the slide?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. So, good evening, everybody. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for your hospitality. It's pretty and you've really got it going on. And so
I'm gonna be really brief because I know you have a lot on the agenda and we have a, you know, Manish and I want to say something, Jen also, but basically what we're doing here at DOT is we're working in a partnership with Con Edison to put 100 publicly accessible curbside charging stations throughout the city. These are the locations. We've done some, you know, preliminary studies with consultants and looked at different varieties of matrices, you know, where we would. Okay, I'm sorry. To try to understand where we think these charging stations would be highly utilized, where it makes sense in certain communities to address air quality concerns, which the gentleman had spoken about earlier, and also greenhouse gas emissions. This is really the city's, part of the city's response to climate change issues and trying to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in our communities and in our city. This map shows the various community boards that we're taking a look at. We have in CD3, we're looking at 4 parking spaces. And this is what the charger will look like. It is similar in size to a Link NYC system that you might have seen on the streets. The top part of this is actually a counterweight to help with cord management. So you pull the cord down and you can plug it into wherever on the vehicle your charge port is. And that's the reason for that height is because you might have to stretch it out a little bit. And then the bottom is where you would, you know, enter into your charging event via an app. We just recently, as of June 17th, gotten a new capital rule through the process for a new dedicated use sign for electric vehicle charging only. This is a street amenity. These are for people, for drivers who, you know, you have to drive, if you have to have to. DOT doesn't really want you to drive, right? They want you to take a bus or a car or a train, but if you have to drive, we really want to encourage that you drive an efficient electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid vehicle as well. That's what it would look like basically on the street. It would sit in between 2 parking spaces, and then the cord will reach over to be able to put the charge port. So here's the sites that we are looking at in Community Board 3. Wood Health Hospital, Marcus Garvey Boulevard, Restoration Plaza right outside this area here, and here Boys and Girls High School in Fulton Park, Stuyvesant Avenue. I'm going to hand it off to Jen so she can tell you more about the 80 by 50 and the greenhouse gas issues. Thanks.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you for hosting us. I live in Bedford, so it's actually extra special to be here today. And just thinking of electric cars, I know on Franklin Avenue, I often see a Model 3 Tesla plugged in, and I see an extension cord running from someone's house trying to get a charge. Which is why we really want to make sure that we're offering infrastructure for people to plug in, more safely than having a cord, and if someone's in a wheelchair or walker has to navigate that cord. We want to make sure that we're really offering infrastructure that's accessible and offering sustainable technology. I work for the Mayor's Office of Sustainability, so our main goal is tracking greenhouse gas emissions in the city and creating policies to reduce those emissions. I have 2 charts up here. Your left-hand side, you see the profile of greenhouse gas emissions. Basically, that second bar graph right here is the amount of transportation emissions we have in the city. It's the second highest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions citywide at around 30% of emissions. And we know that the majority of emissions come from passenger cars. And I'm surprised, I think, I take the subway most of the time. I don't really drive. Commuting to work, maybe going to a shift job where they're working in a hospital really early in the morning, late at night. Folks need to drive more often if they're going from Brooklyn to Staten Island, for example. So you really want to make sure for people who need to drive, we're offering electric availability. We know through some of the modeling that we did, some of our analysis, that we can have a 13% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions through the adoption of electric vehicles, which is why the mayor is really excited to see more electric vehicles on the road. We want to see 20% of vehicles registered in 2025 be electric, and we want to see that most of the 1.8 million vehicles that are passenger cars in New York be electric as well. There are 3 levels of charging, so I think this is the most interesting part here. There are 3 different ways that you can charge up an electric car. You have a level 1 charge, it's just like a wall outlet that probably this laptop's plugged into right now. That can charge an electric car, that's pretty cool. It takes up to 12 hours for a full charge, but think of folks who have maybe driveways or garages. Person has to see the extension cord, maybe he's using a level 1 charge. It takes a long time, but it's pretty inexpensive, which is nice. You have the level 2 charge, which is the next slide over here, the next column over. That's around the same power output as maybe like a dryer, so it's a higher voltage. And that's the type of charging that we're looking to do for this project right here. So it'll be 4 to 6 hours for a full charge. Next, you have the level 3 charge. That's super fast charging. That's around half an hour for a full charge. And we're looking through a different project to invest in that as well right now. Thank you. And just to talk a little bit about our outreach process, we've met with Councilmember Reynoso, Borough President Adams, the Brooklyn District Managers Meeting, Councilmember Cornegie, and we went to the CB3 Transportation Committee in May. We launched a public feedback portal, which is nyc.gov/charge. And there are also some handouts on that back table, which also has our website. We've received over 400 comments about where people would like to see curbside charging, a few where they would not like to see curbside charging. You're welcome to do either on the website. The pilot zones we showed you earlier throughout the 5 boroughs. So we're really trying to spread ourselves out. There are only 50 chargers, 100 ports, so it's 100 parking spaces throughout the 5 boroughs. So we've done some notifications to all the electeds, all the community boards that have been impacted or that we would like to see. Installation, we're planning to start in the fall for the city sites, which are going to be authorized parking spaces only, so we're not taking any new parking spaces. These are around government centers like downtown Brooklyn, Lower Manhattan. Oh, is that time? Okay, we're almost done. We're going to do a July notification to let everyone know what sites we are checking for feasibility. And then the plan is to do a final notification in September of the sites that we've selected. So basically community board engagement, we welcome all of your feedback. If you have specific feedback on the sites that we've shown here, or you want more or less, please let us know. But again, we're only looking at 4 parking spaces in CB3. And now I'll leave it open to questions.
Okay, so for most informational presentations, we do not take questions, but if the presentation is from a city agency, we will allow for a few questions. So members of the public or board members, if you have any questions, we have a mic. We have 1 or 2 mics going around. We have 2 mics, so you can raise your hand. If you have any questions. Yes, okay. And if you can wait for the mic, when you get the mic, if you could please give your name. So, because the meeting's being recorded.
This is Deborah Lamb. I'm asking about the location, Boys and Girls. Is there any in the installation of the charging stations by Con Edison? Is there any disruption to the playground that exists right there with regard to running wires underneath it or any kind of cabling that would in some way disrupt the children's accessibility?
Hi. Yeah, hello. Hi, I'm Brian Ross from Con Edison. I can answer that. So, we won't need a cable underneath any property. What our plan to do to install these stations is to run service from a manhole, or one of our service boxes in the street, to a connection at the curb. So we'll find once we finalize, once DOT and we finalize the locations, the spot in the street to take service from and terminate right at the curb. We won't have to go underneath any properties.
Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Hi, sorry. My name is Jack Polino, resident in Community Board 3. You mentioned Marcus Garvey, what intersection? And then my second question is, for the half-hour supercharge, what is the cost for all this?
Okay, Marcus Garvey Boulevard, I'm not sure what this cross street is, but I don't know, this looks like a pretty big landmark, but it's near Whipple Hospital. Okay, Broadway. And then your next question was about the fast charge or the cost in general. Okay, you want to talk about the pricing?
So, sorry, I guess I'll just grab it. So we're not doing fast charging, we're doing level 2, which is that 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 hours. It really depends on your car, it depends on how much battery would be on your car. There are plug-in hybrid electric vehicles that you can get 25 miles of full electric vehicle range, and then maybe a gas engine kicks in as well. So it really depends on the vehicle you drive. The city is actually doing a fast charging program also, but it is not on street, it is not at the curb. It will be in, right now on DOT-owned parking garages, parking lots. So I hope that answers the question. Oh, and the cost, I'm sorry, the cost. So the cost for this, for the level 2 demonstration pilot program, is paid for by Penn. They will be buying the charging equipment and they will be paying for the construction and installation. It's DOT's job to look at the different sidewalk areas and make sure that it's compatible with that type of use, using sidewalk design guidelines, and also, doing this community engagement to make sure that it's,
I think you're trying to find out the cost for charging a vehicle, right? Not the cost to install the equipment.
Yeah, the cost for the user will be, yeah.
And she said it's a pilot program now, so that CDC is free. She said it's free now. So is that CDC charging and how much is the pilot program?
So at this point, we're looking for the pricing for the user. So I pull up the charger and I plug in to be at the cost of gasoline or below the cost of gasoline in order to compete with the other vehicle models available. The pilot program will last at least 3 years. It's the optional added 1 more year, so 4 years maximum. And then at which point the chargers will be potentially removed, and then DOT can decide to get that out to another private operator. So since it's a pilot program, we want to test out this model, see if it works, and then if it is successful, we'll try to extend that as long as possible.
Okay, we can take a couple more questions because we got a very long agenda. Any other questions?
Feedback is bothering you?
Constantine Halsey Street? No. I've been a resident of Bedford since
You're so close right now.
2008. I do have a question to follow up on. You did talk about the cost for the charge per hour, but in terms of the parking, you mentioned that there's a parking only for electric vehicles. If there's another car that's parked there, will those individuals get ticketed and or towed? And then the other thing I had a question about was clarification on the location of the spots. It sounded as if they were going to be in the middle of the block and not so much at the beginning or the end. So I just wanted you to just speak to that a little bit more in terms of, and if it is in the middle of the block, why did you choose to do that versus on the corner?
Right, okay, so your first question was the no parking or enforcement, right, no standing, okay. So that is correct. These spots will be signed EV charging only, and the TEAs will be instructed to only give a ticket, and I believe it's $115 if a vehicle is not plugged in. And then through the app, you will be incentivized to move your vehicle after your charging event is complete. In terms of the siting, middle of the block or end of the block, I think it really depends a lot on point of entry for ComEd. We're going through that feasibility check right now, so that's really where we are.
Another factor is the location of the manholes, so that is a factor in terms of where Connex can power in. The idea ideally is to be as close to the end of the block as possible for visibility. We're looking at areas that are considered kind of spur streets, so off commercial corridors in particular.
Okay, a couple more questions. Yes.
Hello, my name is Antero Franco. My question is concerning, how did the city figure out that we needed charging stations? I mean, electric cars was there a study done to find out how many electric cars there are in the city? This seems like the solution to a problem that nobody asked to solve.
The city did do a study, it's available online. I can circulate that to the community board. It's called Curb Enthusiasm, and it's looking at the use case for electric vehicles in New York, what the current adoption rates are for electric vehicles. The biggest barrier right now for electric vehicle adoption in New York, we know, is the lack of driveway and garage access. Most electric vehicles in the United States are in California. I think the folks who have a driveway or a garage, they're parking a car on the street or able to charge most of the time.
All I know is that I've seen, I no longer have a car, but I've seen like areas of Brooklyn, like gas stations are like disappearing. And the majority of cars on the street in New York City are still powered by gas. And so like we're trying to, again, solve a problem, but mostly I would love an electric car, but I just can't afford it. So I don't understand how the city is like taking it upon themselves to like fix a problem that's, I don't think, a problem.
So our main issue right now is air quality, so as you mentioned.
I hear you, but
Okay, we're gonna have to see if there's any other, I'm sorry. Are there any other questions?
No, we're good.
Okay, so we'll take two more. And we got a long agenda.
Hello? Yeah, Terrence Johnson, lifelong resident of South. Just to follow up on him, was there a study done on the amount of electric cars in our community?
Yeah, so right now, the number of electric vehicles in New York City is pretty low. One of the ideas is to increase visibility. There are actually electric vehicles available now at every price point.
What about in this community?
I don't know specifically. No, I don't think we did specifically by community board. They're about not out over the 5 boroughs. We see it as an amenity, and we want to increase visibility and encourage infrastructure so that people feel like it makes sense for them to buy an electric vehicle if they must buy a vehicle.
Hi. Sorry. My name is Ramses. I've been living here for 5 years. And I just like to say, this seems like a vanity project. Like the brother said, it makes no sense. You won't cars just to, just for visibility to use more charging stations. Like we should be using this money to actually build more green infrastructure and put that to more regional transit. Adding, like New York City is already
The city is not paying
cars. Why do we want more cars, even though they're electric? And the fraction of New York City residents are using. How many people in here own an electric car? Nobody. Do you own an electric car?
I don't have a car.
Yeah, okay. So we should be investing more in our regional transit, in our MTA.
I understand what you're saying.
Wasting
This is the
millions of dollars on
Sir, let them answer. We got 4 more hearings.
We are encouraging all modes of transportation. Okay, so we first want people to use public transportation, then we want people to walk, and we want people to cycle. We're simply saying if you must own a vehicle, we would like you to consider electric, and we're trying to create more visibility.
Thank all the presenters. This concludes the informational presentation. We have 5 other presentations tonight. So thank you very much for your presentation. We have before we get to economic development, that's going to be given by the Education and Youth Services Committee, Monique Antoine.
Good night, everyone. Okay, so you just heard that we had a Bed-Stuy Best award ceremony a few weeks ago, and at that time, there was a group that wasn't in attendance that we felt needed to be recognized. This organization truly embodies the spirit of community partnering and commitment to our youth. The young women that run this organization have dedicated countless hours and resources to our education committee while still continuing to grow their own nonprofit organization. They are true supporters of Bed-Stuy and support our youth, in particular young women of color who are interested in a STEM career, meaning science, technology, engineering, and math. On behalf of the Education Committee and CB3, I'd like to say thank you to Michelle and Tony Robinson of Digital Girl Inc. Can we give them a round of applause, please?
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thank you so much. This is our mission, to start an organization that can impact our community first. So to be honored by Bedford Stuyvesant Community Board is truly humbling, and it lets us know that we're on the right path. So thank you.
Thank you, Digital Girl.
And I'd just like to say thank you as well. I started this organization in Bedford Stuyvesant in my living room for 3 years or so. And to date, we've taught more than 4,000 students, the majority of them in Bedford Stuyvesant, and we are out here to do a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move our agenda along. We have a second informational presentation. The introduction will be given by the chair of the Economic Development Committee, Mr. Taiwan Anthony.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. So we have a informational presentation by Building Skills New York on their work and what they do here in the local community. Actually, I think the gentleman is not here tonight from Building Skills, but I'll give you a quick brief overview of what they do. So Building Skills came to the committee and they train individuals in construction for their OSHA 30. Because that is what's needed now for individuals to step foot on a construction site. And what they do, in addition to training them, they ensure that they get jobs. So they have relationships with different companies and different projects and different sites throughout the city. And not only do they get them their OSHA 30 card, but they also ensure that individuals can get placed on a construction site. If anybody wants that information, you can reach out to me. Sorry that they weren't able to be here this evening, though. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have 4 public hearings. The first public hearing is coming from the Housing and Land Use Committee. The committee chair, Ms. C. Doris Penn, will give the
It is on. They told me I had to move from the speaker over there. Okay. 47 M&F Management, pursuant to Section 197C and 200 of the New York City Charter for the grant of a special permit pursuant to Section 74-86 of the zoning resolution to reduce the required distance from the edge of an accessory outdoor swimming pool to any zoning lot line in connection with a proposed 10-story residential building on property located at 1247 Atlantic Avenue in the C4-5B District, Borough of Brooklyn, Community District 3. The presentation will be given by Yadel Forrest, representative of 1247 M&F Management. So what does that mean? It means that at 1247 Atlantic Avenue down at Nostrand, there was a building that was built, and they built a swimming pool in the backyard. And what they would like us to do is to give approval for a special permit for them to build the swimming pool as they built it at 1247 Atlantic Avenue.
Quiet, please.
Hello, my name is Alexander Blakely. I am the architect for the applicant, for 1247 Atlantic Avenue, a 10-story mixed-use building which is built here in the neighborhood, approximately 70 feet from Nostrand Avenue. It is as I just said, a mixed-use building, and as of right, we have on the ground floor commercial use, and on the 9 stories above that, residential use. In March of 2018, we submitted an amendment to our plans to include a pool in the backyard, which was approved at that time, but then subsequently in August 2018, objected to, because in order to have that pool approved, we needed special approval from the Planning Commission. Special approval is necessary because that pool is less than 100 feet from the property line. Our pool is, if you, Yelsey, can you advance that? As you see here, property area here, and this sort of, the pool is located to the north. The property is located in a zoning district C4-5D, which is a commercial district with a residential equivalent of R7D. The zoning districts mapped within this community are predominantly manufacturing and commercial, but to the north we have an R6B residential district, which butts up to our property at the north. Again, this pool, could you go to the, okay, this pool is located in the northernmost portion of the property. And as you see from, much less than the 100 feet required, but the zoning has a mechanism to allow it to be approved by the Planning Commission if we can show that that pool presents no detrimental impact visually or acoustically to the neighborhood around. And we're here today primarily to, first of all, introduce you to the pool, and then to show you that this pool will present detriment acoustically or visually to the neighborhood around. So the pool itself is 13 feet by 35 feet long. There is, in addition to the pool, an in-ground spa, which essentially is a whirlpool, which is right up to the property line. To the north of this property, there is a residential district, R6B, but it is located, or the first building that is within distance of it is 60 feet from there, and there's a grade level change of about 12 feet, which you can see in the section in the subsequent slide. So the fence that surrounds the pool is 8 feet high. It is clad in solid wood planking and will contribute a sound attenuation to any noise that would be produced by users of the pool in that area, and there will be absolutely on the ground floor no visual impact because at 8 foot high you can't see over that. The pool itself will be accessible for the residents of the building. There are 41 units. A resident floor, as I mentioned, is a commercial use. The tenants there are not yet designated. As you see from the image to the right, there is a 6-foot fence, which will provide 6-foot fence, which is partially open, which provides security to that pool. Now, this pool will be in operation during only summer months, June to early September, from hours of 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. During those hours, there will always be of the building on site to ensure that nobody is too loud at the pool, and to also ensure safety of the tenants in that pool. Could you advance to the next slide? To the next. Any questions or comments?
Okay, so we're going to take questions from community board members or the public. Any questions about this application for a special permit, correct?
It's an application for a special permit from the Planning Commission to have a pool which is located less than 50 feet from the property line. And as I mentioned, as per that zoning regulation 7486, it stipulates that if we can show that that presents or can sufficiently be buffered visually and acoustically, that it should be subject to approval.
Okay, so any questions from community board?
Right here.
Good evening. Hello. My name is Felicia. So let me get this. I want to make sure I understand completely. The pool is already built.
The pool is 90% built. As I said, we had an approval when we filed the amendments. The examiner was not aware, and we honestly weren't aware that we needed special approval. So the client decided to move forward with the building of the pool. I might add that, well, I'll go into that after I get your question.
Okay, so currently the pool is illegal and you want us to vote to legalize it?
That's correct. I'm sorry.
Any more questions?
Okay, please give your name when you start your comment.
So, if the pool is not approved, what will you put in?
Can't hear you.
What will you put in place, assuming the pool is not approved?
If the pool is not approved, we'll have to remove the pool, fill it in.
Okay, any other questions? Okay.
Good evening, my name is Sharice Terrain. So, you two are together?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just to be clear. So, what will you give us if we decide to approve it? What are we getting in return? What is our community getting in return?
That's a good question. The intent of our client in building this pool was to promote physical health in the building, and which in turn promotes.
What are you giving us as a community?
I think it sets a precedent in the community to.
Absolutely not. What are we getting? I want to know, what are we getting? So are we able to have access to the pool?
So let me say this. We are a city agency. This is not a quid pro quo. We don't get anything from them. Okay, so it doesn't work that way. We're a city agency. So we just here to hear the facts of what they just stated. I think Ms. Alexander put it perfectly. The pool right now is illegal. They want us to legalize it. There's nothing they're supposed to give us. as a city agency.
I just wanted that to be clear.
All right,
I'm
okay.
very aware of that.
All right.
So if we're not getting anything, and it's illegal to have that. So you guys did something that's illegal in our community, and you want us to approve it. I want everyone to be clear on that.
Thank you.
Well, I wouldn't, yes.
Good.
It is technically illegal, it is approvable.
Okay.
All right, so next question.
Quiet, please. My question is, you say this pool is within 50 feet of a residential building, and the pool would be in operation until 12 midnight. So my concern is.
No, 7. Yeah.
Oh, to 7 p.m.? Okay, and that's 7 days a week, and it's an outdoor pool.
Yes.
Okay, so my concern too is that on the weekends, the loud noise, the party, have a pool, you're gonna have pool parties. And here you're talking about acoustics. So how you gonna control the range of the noise?
There's going to be posted pool regulations as there are any pool for a rental building or condominium, which will dictate that users of the pool may not be loud, they may not be rowdy, they may not drink at the pool. And as I said, there will be a superintendent on site at all times to ensure that those regulations are followed.
Any other questions?
Hi, my name is Eagle, and I was working together with Alex. I just want to clarify a couple of questions. First of all, regarding the illegal, we built it first illegal, and we want you guys should legalize it. That's wrong. I just want to correct it. The reason why we're here today, we given the plans for the DOB that we want to do a pool. We then went to the Department of Health. They should approve the pool. The Department of Health approved it. The Department of Building approved it. Then we started to build the pool. And we went for sign-offs for the building. Then the commissioner looked at it. He just told me then that, hey, you have a problem. That I remember one code says regarding swimming pools that you're not allowed to 100 feet unless you have a city planning approval. So we did not build the pool in order illegal and then legalize it. I just want to make it very clear. We went through legal process, everything was legal. The fact that we need the permission for city planning was raised after we went for sign-offs. And here we are. Now, the pool will be illegal. We're ready to cover the pool and pour over sand and concrete. We should not use it. And the question you asked, if we're gonna have community, you guys want to swim there or whatever it is, the pool is 30 feet, 35 feet. It's really small. I would love to have anyone want to come swim there, could arrange it, no problem, but it's a capacity. We can't fit in there. So just letting you know. And I want to make it very clear, we did not make it illegal and we come to you to legalize it. We would never do such a thing.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
I just have,
What's your name?
my name is Bedford. I want to have 2 questions. The first one is, how many affordable housing units are in the building?
No.
None. The second question is, you said that you made a mistake in terms of building it too close to property next door. So that was a mistake that was made on your part?
Yeah, I made a mistake as the architect, and it was also approved by an examiner who also was unaware of this special regulation that requires an approval from the city planning commission for a pool which is less than 50 feet from the
Now, I
property.
understand all that, but you guys are builders and developers, so you should know the law.
Yes, and we take that responsibility.
Okay, any other questions?
I just want to rephrase what regarding affordable housing. We did not want to take any tax exoneration or anything. We're very tax for that. So that's why we didn't want to have the program.
Are there any other questions on this application for a special permit? Okay, if not, I'm gonna close this public hearing. Thank you very much. We're gonna move on to our next public hearing. And,
Thank you, brother.
we have 3 public hearings coming from the Economic Development Committee for businesses seeking liquor licenses. So the introduction for this public hearing is going to provide the chair of the Economic Development Committee, Taiwan Anthony.
Okay, land use committee, can we please, land use committee, wait, time to caucus.
Land use, time to caucus. Land use, time to caucus.
All right. Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. So next up, hello. That's better?
Yeah, all right.
So coming out of the Economic Development Committee, we have a alcohol beverage control license application for Chipotle Mexican Grill located at 774 Broadway in Marcus Garden. The presentation will be given by their legal representative, by their legal attorney, Teresa M. Russo. Is Chipotle here this evening?
Okay, if they're not here, we're going to move on to the next public hearing, which is Dusk Till Dawn, at 193 Marcus Garvey. Introduction will be given by Taiwan Anthony, Chair of the Economic Committee.
Right, so the second issue coming out of the Economic Development Committee is an application of, the applicant is called Dusk Till Dawn. They're making a request to serve alcohol until 4 a.m. So please keep in mind, this is not a new SLA application. This establishment, they are already currently in business. They have come before the community board before they were approved. They are requesting to extend their hours until 4 a.m. All right, so they are requesting to extend their hours to 4 a.m. They have already come before the community board. And giving the presentation will be the owner, Khalid Lewis.
Majority of our customers that come in, they come in around 12:30, and last call is at 1, and we close at 2. So we just want to get the time extended an hour, but we're not necessarily going to close every day at 4 o'clock. Some days we'll probably close early, but like Saturday just passed, we had a great Gatsby theme, and it was a 50th birthday party, and she put on a flyer at 8 till 2. You know, CP time, people started showing up at 10:30, 11. So now, 10:30, 11 o'clock, party's done at 2. Everybody's all dressed up and they pull up in gowns and the guys in some suits. We had to send them home. Now, a lot of people want to find something else open till 4. So that's the reason why we want to extend the time. It's not, you know, we don't necessarily have to close every day at 4, but just to give the customers that option, if they want to extend the time, stay a little later, they can do that.
Are you finished?
Capacity is 500.
You finished with your presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take questions from the public and from the community board members. We got a question over here. Do you have a question? Okay, question over here. Please wait till the mic comes to you. If you could give your name when you start your question or remarks.
Just a time, just as my church meeting. What is your capacity first? Sir, if you're running.
I don't think anybody can hear you.
What is the seating capacity of your sign?
100.
Okay, any other questions?
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, what's your name, sir?
My name is Antero Branco. My question is, how long have you guys been in business?
Since December. Now, I've been open longer than that, but I actually ran
December 2018, so just passed. So have you spoken to your neighbors about staying open till 4 a.m.?
Yes.
And they're on board with it?
Some of them, yeah, some are. We have people that live in the building that come downstairs all the time. They the ones that always come when we about to close. And they live right up there. Right when I'm about to put the key in the door at 1 o'clock, they come right downstairs. Yeah, come on, I live right upstairs.
I'm just asking, like, you know, your neighbors around you that are going to be affected by that. You know, if you get buy-in from them, like, you know, that's a good selling point to us, I would say.
Okay, we got a question over here.
Yeah, hi. I'm Harrison Watt. Did you get any signs, and did any of your neighbors sign anything in respect to the...
My partner has police.
Your partner?
Yeah,
Sorry?
he's right now. It's at the airport.
Your partner has it, is at the airport, and you're here making the presentation.
I'm always there.
All right, thank you. I got one back here, Plateau.
Okay.
Hello, good evening. My name is Gordon. I actually live on Lafayette Market Garden, and where I'm happy to do in your business. My concern, you extending those hours to 4 p.m. with the residents in that 4 a.m. I'm sorry, with the residents in that area parking and the loud noise. I can honestly tell you, no one came on my block to talk about those hours being extended. Again, I'm happy for you and your establishment, but I'm concerned about that 4 a.m.
Thank you for your comment. Any other questions or comments?
Question on the left side.
Hi, yes, this is for the women at my table.
What's your name?
Church going people. They're concerned about the hours. So what about the hours on 4 a.m. on Saturday? So you guys have to keep that in mind.
Could you just give your name on it for the record, please?
Sharice Terrain.
Thank you.
Yes. For the women and men that go to church on Sunday and keeping those kind of hours. So you have to be concerned for kind of late.
Last close at 3. By 4 a.m., everyone's out the building. It's not, they're not closing at 4, that close at 4. Last close at 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. Church starts at 9, 10, 11, 6 a.m. Church.
Okay, any other questions? One question. Okay.
Hi, my name is Antoine Boyfriend. I'm just wondering if you are seeing people outside, if you have a backyard area, or is the drinking and the contained to inside the establishment?
So just inside, we don't have a backyard.
Okay, good. No other questions or comments, and then close the public. Yes, I'm sorry, one more.
Do you have
What's your name?
Dr. Kim Best, from the 7-9. Do you have security?
7 days a week. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have 2 cars.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you very much. The public hearing is closed. Before we go to our next public hearing, we were joined by one of our illustrious elected officials, who was also a former chair of Community Board 3, the Honorable Assemblymember Tremaine Wright.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be back in Brooklyn with all of you. We had a very productive session this year. We just finished on last Friday morning around 8 a.m. So we worked through the wee hours of the night, but I promise you, there's a little bit of something for everybody that we got done this session. Nobody's ecstatic, but everybody's got something to be happy about. So I do want to bring you just a quick update on a couple of items that were contentious, things that were very high priorities for a number of people. So one of the things we did was we extended the MWBE program for the state. Article 15A was extended, and we've also tried to build in some technical support so that we can improve the certification process. We're very much aware that certification is a bottleneck and that people are not getting through the process. And also we're trying to build in a process so that people can access available funds and insurances so that they can actually participate and become more than just subcontractors under the program. We passed the climate control bill, so we're holding ourselves out to a very aspirational goal of trying to reach zero new emissions based on 1994 levels. So we do have a very aggressive climate control package that we passed. And one of the things that I know many of you may have heard about is that we've also banned plastic bags. So at the supermarkets, we will no longer be giving out plastic bags. And all of our small stores will no longer be able to do it. So please get into the habit of bringing your reusables to it for restaurants. And we are coming back so that we can close that gap. That is going to be the next step, and we're going to go social out on their own recognizance, and then they come back. And then we passed the green light bill, which will provide undocumented residents, those people who do not have social security numbers, the ability to get driver's licenses. We hope that that will improve the safety on our roads, and that people who are in accidents will be able to have someone to sue in the case of insurance for, in case there are harmed, they have some insurance to go after to actually fill in those voids. So we're praying that this actually gets us to a safer place, and so you can let people know that they can drive safely and that they can obtain insurance for their vehicles so that we can try to make sure that we are all safe on the roads. And then the last thing I'm going to bring up is marijuana. We have not legalized marijuana. It is not legal. I just want to say that twice. Marijuana is not legal. What we have done was better fortify the decriminalization procedures. So at this point, up to 2 ounces of holding the leaf of marijuana means that you will get a violation. If it is more than 2 ounces, you will be arrested. But 2 ounces and below, which is what we're considering personal use, will be violations only. Less than an ounce, a $50 violation. More than an ounce, up to 2 ounces, $200 violation. So we're hoping that fewer people are arrested, you get the violation, you pay it off. Failure to pay a violation does result in a warrant. So please, if someone you know, especially the young people in our lives, if they are stopped and given a given a violation, have them go and pay. They have to, and they need to pay the violation. We are still moving towards marijuana legalization. It is not a done deal. We're trying to figure it out. We need to figure out what it looks like in the medical marijuana space as well as the recreational space. I will be inviting people to come to a town hall this fall so that we can have a more robust conversation regarding marijuana, surrogacy, which is another thing that came up this year that people have not, in this community I know, have not had a conversation, have a discussion about, is the ability for somebody to carry the baby for you. What does that look like in our state? Right now we're one of 2 states that do not have that, any laws that govern it. So now we're trying to figure out what that looks like, and my brain is escaping me on the last thing. But we will be having a town hall in the fall to give you updates on everything that that we've passed, that the governor has signed, because we have to wait for him to sign it for it to actually become a law. And then we'll be having a conversation about the things that we know are going to be coming up in next year's session. If there are any questions, please do not hesitate to call my office. I'm right on the 4th floor here in Restoration Plaza in the 1360 building, which is the building with the Applebee's. We're there Tuesday through Friday during the summer, and we'll see you on your block and at your churches over the weekends. And then in the fall, we resume a Monday through Friday schedule. So during July and August, Tuesday through Friday, and then during beginning again in September, we'll see you Monday through Friday. So I hope everyone has a wonderful summer, and I hope we see you in the neighborhood. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wright. We're going to move on with our agenda. We have our last public hearing. Also coming from the Economic Development Committee, introduction is going to be given by Mr. Taiwan Anthony.
Hello, good evening again. So the last presentation coming out of the Economic Development Committee is a alcohol beverage control application for Southern Comfort. They are located at 377 Marcus Garvey, and that's between Jefferson Avenue and Hancock Street. And the presentation will be given by one of the two owners that are present today. Also, a little background about Southern Comfort. They were approved 2 years ago. They were approved 2 years ago, so they did go through the process already. They came before the board, and the board did approve this establishment 2 years ago. So they are back as a new applicant right now. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Shamar McDonald. My husband and partner, Kurt. I'm sorry. Good evening. My name is Shamar McDonald. This is my husband and partner, Kurt. We are the owners of the Southern Comfort. We just shared a little bit about ourselves. We met in high school. We were in high school sweethearts or anything like that. It was like at first sight. But we've known each other for that long. We have a lot of history. My husband has always been a businessman. I was a technology person, but I also love to cook. Just to show a little bit about ourselves, that's our wedding picture. But I are now 3 munchkins on this side, so we're very personable. We're very family first. I also noted that we don't ever want people to think that we just jumped into a restaurant. I started catering in 2005. We're currently food vendors. So if anyone has ever visited the BAM Dance Africa Bazaar, International African Arts, any weekly festival, Capital Jazz Festival, the sweet potato waffles, buttermilk fried chicken, Cajun catfish, everything, that's what we do. We've been doing it for a couple of years now. This is just, like I said, another history of the Southern Comfort and how we started. Well, we believe this is very important to us. When you put God first, everything else falls into place. That food, especially good food, has a way of making everything bad seem better. That soul food isn't limited to the great food of the South. If it feels good in your soul, it's soul food. Finally, we believe everyone should take at least one amazing trip. Please allow the Southern Comfort to take your taste buds on the journey of a lifetime. These are our hours of operation. We'll be closed on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll be open at 11 a.m., closing at 10 p.m. Thursday through Saturday, 11 a.m. through 1 a.m. Sunday, 11 a.m. through 9 p.m. The Saturday and Sunday may change to 10 a.m. to accommodate brunch. We've made quite a few enhancements to the space at 377 Marcus Garvey. We actually took 3 units and turned it into 1 unit. So this is just some of our pre-construction pictures. And this is a work in progress of how the space looks now. I like to call the space barnyard chic. I'm from the South. We're very mason jar. Actually more. Our key team members, once we have a set date for opening, we will open up the Help Wanted Global community, and we will also work with the various employment programs over here at the Bedford Stuyvesant Restoration Plaza. I don't think it's necessary for us to have security because we're a restaurant that happens to have a bar, but not a bar, if that makes sense. We're very community oriented because we're very active in our churches. Some of the things that we will be bringing to the shop are the Mommy, Daddy, and Me Midday Lunch. I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time and it drove me a little batty. I know other stay-at-home parents may be a little batty, so it's good to come out with other adults. So we're going to have that at the shop on the first Wednesday. The Daddy and Me GT will be a bi-monthly lunch date for fathers and daughters. And a summertime dinner in the movie, we're going to team up with Robbie Regazi and Heavenly Crumbs and the Armory to make something like this happen. We took the idea from
Havana outposts that have the movie played on the building. So if the Armory gives us the green light, that will happen next summer. Our menu, we call ourselves Southern Cuisine because we combine recipes of the South and the Caribbean. Fridays and Saturdays will basically be a seafood-inspired menu. Anyone who grew up in the South, Friday is a big fish fry Friday for us. So we will have a lot of seafood-inspired options, our low country boils, seafood medleys, the Maryland crab cakes, southern fried catfish, jambalaya mac and cheesy, cream of crab soup. On Sundays, we'll have traditional favorites like some smothered turkey wings, marinated salmon, baby back ribs, po' boy sandwiches, beer braised oxtails, fried chicken and waffles. We also have vegan soul food options. We make an excellent vegan pina colada waffle. This is our floor plan. Any questions?
Okay, so now we're going to take questions from the board members or members of the public. Mr. Anthony, can you take one of the mics? Okay, any questions? No questions from the public or board members?
Nah, she was pretty cool, man.
Okay, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to close the public hearing. Thank you very much for the presentation. We're going to be voting on this shortly. Thank you. So we concluded our public hearing. We're going to move to the next portion of our agenda, which is going to be community announcements. Economic Development Committee is going to caucus to my right. The committee members, Mr. Anthony, is going to caucus to the right. Do we have the list for Mr. Butler? We have the list for the community announcements. Thank you. Okay, so if you could please be ready in this order and keep your remarks of 2 minutes or less. Eli Teggers, and I guess we have a mic up here in front. Mary Lacassi, Kathy Murphy, Dwayne Frankson, Terrence Johnson, and Jordan Reisman. Any of you here? Okay, if you could come forward, the mic is up here. And if you could give your name when you're starting, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathy Murphy, and I'm here on behalf of the Quincy Street between Patchen and Rouse Avenue Block Association. July 13th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., we will be having a scoop sale and bake sale. And I put flyers on the tables in the back. All are welcome to attend. It'll be our first ever multi-family scoop sale, and we're going to have great stuff: clothing, books, music, DVDs, furniture, Tupperware, you name it, we're going to have it. Each individual resident will be selling from their stoop. And also we'll have homemade as well as store-bought baked goods. So again, it's July 13th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Quincy Street between Patchen and Rouse Block Association. Flyers are in the back. Thank you, and for those of you who celebrate the 4th, have a happy and also a safe summer.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Thank you.
Next in the line.
Dwayne Frankson, Terrence Johnson, Jordan Reisman. Jordan Reisman.
Hello, CB3. I'm Jordan Reisman. I'm with my friends David Alexis and Fanon Laka. We're with the Democratic Socialists of America. And we wanted to talk to you today about single-payer healthcare. It's a campaign that we're working on with two specific bills. One is the New York Health Act, which is the New York single-payer bill, and then the Medicare for All bill, which is the federal nationwide bill. And what that is single-payer healthcare is nationwide free healthcare for everybody, regardless of their race, their gender, their class, whatever. And it comes with no deductibles, no co-pays, and because we know that healthcare is such a big issue in this community, and everybody, it's on the top of everybody's mind. So what we're trying to do is open up a dialogue with the community here, and hopefully have some hearings down the line. We know that Assemblymember Wright is here. We wanted to thank her for her support for the New York Health Act. And we're having some people give out literature, and yes, so to hand it over to Fanon over here.
Yeah, we're trying to talk to absolutely everyone we can about this life-transforming political change we can have with Medicare for All and single payer. Please come talk to us. We'll be standing right outside. We have literature. We really want to build groups, build connections. And so I hope you take the time to talk to us and support our project of transforming our nation's healthcare system. Thanks.
Thank you. Ms. Dwayne Frankson. Okay, I'm gonna call for the last time. Eli Tenchers, Mary B. Lacassi, Dwayne Frankson, Terrence Johnson. Okay, if they're not here, we're gonna move on to the roll call.
Good evening, everyone. Babatunde Akwe.
Present.
Alicia Alexander.
Present.
Taiwan Anthony. Dr. Kim Best. Lillian Bowman. Lillian Bowman. Anthony Guzeret.
Present.
Michael Catlin.
Present.
Vanessa Clark. Ivy Gamble Cobb. Evelyn Collier. Pastor Gwendolyn Dingle. Tyina Evans. Michael Fasal. Richard Plateau.
Here.
Sharon Forbes. Keith Forrest.
Here.
Gregory Glasgow is excused. Shea Greenfeld. Mary Jameson Head. Abby Robinson Hobson. Oma Holloway. Everett Hughes. Victor Iro.
Here.
Keisha Jerryman. Edna Johnson is excused. Dr. Perlene Johnson.
Present.
Dr. Deborah Lamb.
Here.
Lisa Lewis. Lisa Lewis. Mary Little. Dionisio Liz. Hardy Joe Long is excused. Kenneth Mbono. Ellen Miller. Melissa Cloud Norman. Satina Payton. Simone Pratt. C. Doris Penn. Karen Rao. Carolyn Richburg. Wendy Robinson. Stacy Ruffin, here. Suzette Shepard. Jamila Swift. Chinyalu Udo. Alicia Walton. Reverend Dr. Robert Waterman.
Doug Williams. TJ Wilson.
Okay, while we're checking to see if we have a quorum, we're gonna have the bylaws report and then vote. So I would ask if either the chair or vice chair of the bylaws committee could please give their report. Okay, report's gonna be given by the vice chair of the bylaws committee, Karen Reynolds.
Good evening, everyone.
It's on?
Can everyone hear me?
Let me see.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I'm just going to talk briefly about the bylaws. Hopefully all the board members have been in receipt of the bylaws and everyone has had a chance to review them. These are the same bylaws that you received earlier this year. So again, the bylaws committee is recommending that the bylaws include the stated amendments, which are highlighted in yellow. So again, everything remains the same as far as notice, voting, special election in the event there's a vacancy of second vice chairperson, treasurer, or executive secretary, membership, committee membership rules, so again, a lot of it remains the same. The Landmarks and Preservation Committee, which will become a standing committee. The only change is that what we'll be taking out is from committee responsibilities. In that section, if a member fails to cast a vote on all members before the board, then they shall be marked absent by the secretary. That's no longer included in the bylaws, and that's really the only change. So again, everybody has received the bylaws since earlier this year. We have a lot of the same changes. Everything that's highlighted in yellow is what the bylaws committee recommends that the bylaws include.
Could you repeat what the major change was again this time?
So the major change is in committee responsibilities. The original provision was that any member that did not stay for the vote or did not vote on all the matters would be marked absent. That's no longer the case now. These bylaws do not include that particular provision, but it includes all the rest of it about notice, election, and that sort of thing. So again, it remains the same except for that one provision.
Okay. You should have a copy of the amended bylaws. The board members should have this. This is the second meeting that we've done this. Second consecutive meeting. So is there a motion on the recommendation of the bylaws committee? Yes. Can someone give her the mic, please? Is someone, oh, can you come to the mic?
Check. Babatunde Akwe, board member, I move to have a recommendation approved by the board.
Second. Okay, who is the second? Dr. Lamb. So it's been moved to approve the recommendation of the bylaws committee to amend the bylaws as stated. We moved by Mr. Akaway, seconded by Dr. Lamb. Any discussion? Okay, so we have a quorum of 30 present, 19 absent. So I will call the question. You will have to vote on the bylaws amendment.
Babatunde Akaway,
Affirmative.
Felicia Alexander. Taiwan Anthony. Sorry to hear you. Dr. Kim Best. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Anthony Bozareth. Michael Catlin.
Yes.
Vanessa Clark. Ivy Gamble Cobb.
Yes.
Evelyn Collier. Pastor Gwendolyn Dingle.
Yes.
Richard Plateau.
Yes.
Sharon Forbes.
Yes.
Keith Forrest.
Yes.
Mary Jameson Head.
Sorry? No.
Thank you. Abby Robinson Hobson.
Yes.
Everett Hughes.
Yes.
Victor Iro.
Yes.
Keisha Jerrigan.
Yes.
Dr. Carleen Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Lamb.
Yes.
Kenneth Mbono. Ellen Miller. Satina Payton. Sorry to hear you. Simone Prax. C. Doris Kim. Karen Rao. Carolyn Richburg. Wendy Robinson. And she was absent. Stacy Ruffin, yes. Suzette Shepherd. Jamila Swift. Sorry, she was absent. Alicia Walton. And that's it.
Okay, someone passed. I think it was Richburg.
Carolyn Richburg, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I can.
I'm sorry,
We
Ms.
can't hear, we couldn't hear what you
Yes,
said.
yes, approved. I don't see anything that was right.
Okay, so that was a yes from Ms. Richburg. Thank you.
Okay, so bylaws committee's been working on this for about a year and a half. I'm sure they're greatly relieved. We're gonna move on to committee updates and resolutions while the secretary is tabulating the vote. Any committee updates and resolutions? Okay. If not, we're gonna move on to action on the public hearing. And the first item is coming from the Housing and Land Use Committee. The recommendation will be given by the chair of the Housing and Land Use Committee, Ms. C. Doris Finney.
Okay. Do I have to read this thing for the record? On the Housing and Land Use Committee, the matter of the application for 1247 M&F Management. In the matter of the application submitted by 1247 M&F Management, ... Okay. All right. So M&F, 1247 M&F Management met with the Land Use Committee at our last meeting, which was on 2 weeks ago, and presented the special permit for the pool at 1247 Atlantic Avenue. So I want to be clear about what it is that we as a committee, as a community board, was asked to do in the certified application that came from city planning. We were not asked to approve the pool. The pool is not about our, in our purview. The pool was built as of right, as the building was built as of right. And what that means is that that they are allowed to build on property that they own, as long as they conform with the zone. What we had presented to us by city planning, and what we are voting on, is the special permit which amends that zone. And that zone is to amend the distance between the pool and the lot line. That's the only thing that we were asked to do. We were asked to look at perimeters around the pool and determine whether or not we would agree to approve the reduction in the committee discussed it at our committee meeting, and the committee met again in our caucus after the public hearing. And we voted unanimously to approve the special permit.
Okay, you heard the recommendation of the Land Use Committee to approve a special permit to have a pool closer than the permitted allowance at 1247 Atlantic Avenue. Is there a motion on the recommendation of the Land Use Committee? Do any of the board members have the motion on the recommendation of the Land Use Committee?
I move to it.
Motion to accept the committee's
Okay, I'm sorry,
recommendation.
there's a motion.
Motion to accept the committee's recommendation.
I couldn't see who that was.
Anthony Bucera.
Who was it? A motion to accept the recommendation of the Land Use Committee, Anthony Bucera. Is there a second? Seconded by Simone Pratt. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, again, for a special permit for the pool at 1247 Atlantic Avenue. Right, the parameters around the pool so that they can have it given their distance from the lot line. Okay, I'm going to call the question, so we'll take the vote.
Babatunde Akare. Felicia Alexander. Taiwan Anthony. Taiwan Anthony. Dr. Kim Best.
Yes.
Anthony Buzarek. Michael Catlin. Vanessa Clark. Ivy Gamble Cobb. Evelyn Collier. Pastor Gwendolyn Dingle.
Yes.
Richard Plateau.
Yes.
Sharon Forbes.
Yes.
Keith Forrest. Mary Jamieson Head. Abby Robinson Hobson.
Yes.
Everett Hughes.
No.
Victor Iro.
Yes.
Keisha Jerryman.
Yes.
Dr. Carleen Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Lamb.
Yes.
Kenneth Mbono.
Yes.
Ellen Miller. Satina Payton. Simone Pratt. C. Doris Penn.
Yes.
Karen Rao.
Yes.
Carolyn Richburg. Stacy Ruffin, yes. Suzette Shepherd. Alicia Walton. And back to who passed. Oh, she passed. She just Just one, you abstain?
Okay, who was the person that passed?
Yes. Vanessa Clark.
Yes.
So you abstain? Thank you.
Okay, the next item that we'll have action on will be Chipotle Mexican Grill. Request for a letter of support. They did not attend the meeting tonight, so recommendation is going to be given by Taiwan Anthony.
Good evening again. So in reference for alcohol beverage control license application for Chipotle Mexican Grill, they are located at 774 Broadway and Marcus Garvey. That actual site visit was done by committee member Keith Forrest. We will not recommend a letter of recommendation due to the fact that they did not show up this evening. Right?
So there's recommendations for no letter of support. Is there a motion on the record? Moved by Felicia Alexander, second on the record. Seconded by Everett Hughes. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, yes. Could you take the mic?
Information board member. Is this a recommendation for a letter of non-support or just not to go for a letter of support?
Great question. So this is a recommendation so we're not going to extend a letter of non-support, right? So we're not going to
She's not doing any letter period.
We're not doing any letter period.
No letter. Okay. Any other questions?
We want to know what it has to do.
Okay, so there's a motion that's been seconded. I'm going to call the question.
The question is, why do we need to vote if there's no recommendation?
Yeah, listen, the recommendation is for no letter of support. But that's the recommendation, no letter of support. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, Babatunde Akwe,
Yes.
Felicia Alexander,
Yes.
Taiwan Anthony,
Yes.
Dr. Ken Best,
Yes.
Anthony Buzara, Michael Patman, Vanessa Clark, Ivy Gamble Cobb, Evelyn Collier. Sorry?
Yes.
Pastor Gwendolyn Dingle,
Yes.
Richard Plateau, Sharon Forbes. Sharon Forbes? Keith Forrest.
Mary, Miss Mary.
Is this for the same thing we used to do in show?
Yes. Chipotle, yes.
And the yes represent what?
Sorry, again?
No letter of support.
Thank you. Yes.
Abby Robinson Hodson.
Yes.
Everett Hughes.
Yes.
Victor Iro.
Yes.
Keisha Jernigan.
Yes.
Dr. Caroline Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Lamb.
Yes.
Kenneth Abono. Ellen Miller. Satina Payton. Simone Pratt. C. Doris Penn. C. Doris Penn. C. Doris Penn. Karen Rao. Carolyn Richburg. Stacy Ruffin, yes. Suzette Shepherd. Alicia Walton. Thank you.
Next item will be Dusk to Dawn. Recommendation will be given by Taiwan Anthony, Chair of the Economic Development Committee.
All right, good evening once again. So the application from Dusk Till Dawn is making a request to serve alcohol beverages till 4 a.m. They are located at 193 Marcus Garvey Boulevard, that's between Kosciuszko Street and Lafayette. So the committee recommends to not issue a letter of recommendation due to not having the required signatures tonight. Now, what the committee will do, we do have another meeting July 11th, so we will allow that establishment to come back to that committee meeting and show the local letters of support. But until we have those letters of support and those signatures from the local community, our recommendation
Okay,
is
so
not issued.
I'm gonna suggest that we table this if they're not ready, they don't have them. Okay, so we won't take a vote, and we'll have to contact the SLA to get an extension of time. See, normally, there's a clock on when we have to vote.
No, there's no clock, because this is not a new application, this is not new. So I don't think there would be a clock.
Okay, we need to check with the SLA, and if necessary, we need to get an extension. So this item will be tabled for unreadiness. They did not have the letters of support from people in the area. Okay, the last item is Southern Comfort request for letter of support for a liquor license. The recommendation is going to be given by Mr. Taiwan Anthony.
So the last item is the alcohol beverage control license application for Southern Comfort. They're located at 377 Marcus Garvey Boulevard. That's between Jefferson Avenue and Hancock Street. The committee recommends to issue a letter of support.
Okay, is there a motion on the recommendation regarding Southern Comfort? Is anybody awake? Okay, so Michael Catlin moved to accept the recommendation for a letter of support for Southern Comfort. Is it? Everett Hughes, second the motion. Any discussion on the motion? Yeah, I call the question.
Babatunde Akaway. Yes. Felicia Alexander. Taiwan Anthony.
Yes.
Dr. Kim Best.
Yes.
Anthony Buzarek. Michael Catlin. Vanessa Mark. Ivy Gamble Cobb. Evelyn Collier. Pastor Gwendolyn Dingle. Richard Plateau.
Yes.
Sharon Forbes.
Yes.
Keith Forrest. Mary Jamison Head. Abby Robinson Hobson.
Yes.
Everett Hughes.
Yes.
Victor Iro.
Yes.
Keisha Jerriman.
Yes.
Dr. Perlene Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Deborah Lamb.
Yes.
Kenneth Abono. Ellen Miller. Satina Payton. Simone Pratt. C. Doris Penn. Karen Rao. I'm sorry? Thank you. Carolyn Richburg. Stacy Ruffin, yes. Suzette Shepherd. And Alicia Walton. Thank you.
Okay, before I do the chairperson's report, I'm just going to announce the vote. So, regarding the bylaws, the vote to amend the bylaws as stated was 28 for, 2 opposed. Regarding the M&F management, seeking a letter of support for a special permit to have the pool, the vote was 20 in favor, 9 against, 1 abstention, so the motion carries. Regarding Chipotle Mexican Grill, recommendation was for no letter of support. The vote was 38 in favor, 1 against. Okay, so while we're doing the last vote, I just had a couple of brief things under Chairperson's report. For the new members over the summer, I'm going to be making committee assignments, and if we're going to be sending out mailing shortly, email shortly, requesting new members to indicate which committees they're gonna be, would like to serve on. So please be on the lookout for that, new members. Also, the city council, allocated some additional discretionary funds this year again for community boards in the fiscal year 2020 budget. So as a result, once again, we're going to be able to offer access to training and development classes to our staff and board members. And as far as I know, we're the only community board that offers training and development for the staff and board members. So you'll be receiving more information about that over the summer as well. Okay, so our last vote was for Southern Comfort, request for letter of support. The vote was 26 in favor, 4 opposed, so the motion for letter of support carries. Last thing, well, next to last thing, is there a motion for the acceptance of the June 3rd minutes? Moved by Felicia Alexander. Is there a second on the motion to accept the minutes? Seconded by Evelyn Collier. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, last thing, we're going into recess for the summer, so is there a motion for adjournment? Moved by Felicia Alexander, second. Seconded by by Pastor Gwen Dingle. All in favor? Any opposed? We're in recess. Have a good summer.
Yeah.